Thompson finally made his return against the Cleveland Cavaliers after 941 games and 2 potential season-ending career injuries. Now that is crazy. We finally got to see Klay Thompson play. How is he going to affect the Warriors? Will the Warriors make it to the glory, win the championship with Klay Thompson? They're already playing great without him. He's just going to add a new level of intensity to their team. How good did Klay Thompson play against the Cleveland Cavaliers? And what do I think of the Golden State Warriors? So, against the Cleveland Cavaliers, Klay Thompson had 17 points, 3 rebounds, and made 3 threes, 3 of 8 from the 3-point line, and 7 from 18 from the field. So, Klay Thompson, he wasn't the most efficient player in his game back, but he did shoot pretty good from the 3-point line. Of course, he's going to be rusty. You cannot expect him to be this efficient, but he did have 17 points. He scored pretty well. And honestly, I didn't expect him to have this good of a return. Now, how good will the Golden State Warriors play? Will they win the champion? Warriors will make it to the NBA Finals. But there is one problem. His defense. After 2 major injuries like this, it will be really, really hard for Klay Thompson to recover to full strength, but he looks like he has recovered to full strength, at least on the offensive end. It's going to be hard for him to move like he used to on the defensive end, and the Warriors need that. He's going to carry some load for Stephen Curry, but on the defensive end, he has to help the Golden State Warriors because they have a whole system of defense, and he has to be a good perimeter defender. And that will be really hard, and that's one of the things that I'm worried about for the Golden State Warriors. But I still think the Golden State Warriors will go back to the NBA Finals because they're that type of team. Unless something crazy happens in the trade deadline. Now, let's talk about the trade deadline now that we're done talking about Klay Thompson. Who is in the trade deadline? Who can potentially be traded? There's Ben Simmons, Kyrie Irving, Jeremy Grant, and Russell Westbrook. Ben Simmons, he played terrible in the NBA playoffs, yet he still has some value for your NBA team. He can still play defense. He can still, drive to the rim and dunk, and he's still a good passer. He's definitely going to help the Atlanta Hawks if he gets traded there for John Collins. And a couple of picks. Now, Ben Simmons, he cannot shoot the ball. There'll be some trouble with Clint Capella. The Hawks can maybe trade Clint Capella or he can come off the bench because both Clint Capella and Ben Simmons can't shoot. And that would be very, very bad spacing. Now, for the Atlanta Hawks, he's going to provide a lot of defense. That would help Trae Young, and he's going to make Trae Young have some good open 3-pointers since he's a good, driver to the rim and a good passer. So he can probably set up wide open threes for Trae Young. Now, the 76ers, it may seem like Ben Simmons won't get traded from the 76ers, but they cannot waste 1 year of Joel Embiid's prime, and I do not believe Daryl Morey would do such a thing. Now the next player I want to talk about is Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie Irving just got injured yesterday. He rolled his ankle, and it was very, very bad. And he hasn't even took the vaccine. He's going to be a part-time player for the Brooklyn Nets. Why not get another player that can help you? If you're the Brooklyn Nets, he still even got injured on the Brooklyn Nets, and he still is injury prone, and he's a part-time player for you. Why not trade Kyrie Irving for Kristaps Porzingis? It's going to help the Dallas Mavericks, and Kristaps needs a change of scenery. The problem will be that Kristaps Porzingis' attitude on the Brooklyn Nets won't be that good because there's 2 other stars on the Brooklyn Nets, and you see how he deals with Luka Doncic, and, he gets injured like Kyrie Irving. Now, for the Mavericks, Kyrie Irving's a good point guard who can take out a lot of load off of Luka Doncic some games, because some games it seems like Luka Doncic is really carrying the team. So Kyrie Irving would help him a lot. And I think this would be a little bit of a risk for the Brooklyn Nets, but Kristaps Porzingis can shoot the three ball. It will be very interesting if this happens. And they might be able to win the championship. Now the Utah Jazz, they are desperate. Last year, Rudy Gobert did not have any help whatsoever on defense. Their only help on defense was Royce O'Neal. And Rudy Gobert can't be the only rim protector / good defender on the Utah Jazz. People were saying the Clippers exposed Rudy Gobert, and Rudy Gobert does not impact the team, but Rudy Gobert really impacts the Utah Jazz, and he needs a defender to help him, and that would make the Utah Jazz a lot better in the NBA playoffs, and they can potentially win the championship if they get a great player. And that player is Jeremy Grant. They would immediately become contenders if they trade for Jeremy Grant. All they really have to trade is like Joe Ingles and the young player. And the Detroit Pistons would probably accept that trade. Jeremy Grant would be great on the Utah Jazz. And so Jeremy Grant, he brings a new dynamic on the defensive end. He helps Rudy Gobert. Their perimeter defense will be amazing. And it will probably be the second option on the Utah Jazz since, Rudy Gobert isn't the best scorer. And if you make, Jeremy Grant the second option, you'll be unleashed. And it'll be an ultimate duo with Donovan Mitchell. Not to mention, they still have Mike Conley. That would be like a big four. That would be an amazing team. And that would just be like a perfect team. They have Donovan Mitchell who can close ball games. And they have Rudy Gobert who can play defense with Jeremy Grant who can also play defense. And they also have Mike Conley who can be a good playmaker. The last player I want to talk about in the trade deadline is Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook and the Lakers haven't been playing that well, and they are just not good. Many people were expecting that they can win the championship. They were contenders, but now the Lakers are playing very, very bad. Now, I think it would be a good idea if Russell Westbrook was traded to the Philadelphia 76ers, and this would send Ben Simmons to the Raptors. It will be a 3-team trade. So the Lakers would get Tobias Harris, the Raptors would have Ben Simmons, and the 76ers would have Pascal Siakam and Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook will be a good playmaker with Joel Embiid who can shoot the three ball, and Pascal Siakam would be a good defender who can also shoot the three ball. And Russell Westbrook can drive to the rim and pass it to those three-point shooters, and they can finally have a big three. And Russell Westbrook, it might be the same situation on the Los Angeles Lakers coming to the Philadelphia 76ers, but they cannot waste a year of Joel Embiid's prime. Daryl Morey cannot let that happen, so they would have to get someone like Russell Westbrook and Pascal Siakam. For the Toronto Raptors, they are going to be really good with Ben Simmons. He's a young player that they can develop. Nick Nurse is literally going to force Ben Simmons to shoot the ball. He will literally discipline Ben Simmons. He is really that type of coach. I really can see Ben Simmons benefiting out of Nick Nurse. And for the Lakers, Tobias Harris is a good scorer. He's efficient, and he can give you 15 to 20 points per game with some good quality defense. Not to mention, he's a good three-point shooter. So I think all of the teams win and benefit out of this trade. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave your comments in the comment section below, and peace out.